Hey everyone, Joan Zodianz here, and today I'm going to be talking all about Gemini. So this isn't like my male or female versions. This is just learning about the energy of Gemini and appreciation for Gemini season. So let's go ahead and get into it. So when it comes to this air sign and we think about the planet Mercury, right, we are thinking of a mutable planet that loves to overthink shit. I love Geminis because they love to think. They love to use their minds to open up other people's minds, even though sometimes the things that they're talking about is so out there that it's hard for other people to comprehend. They like things that are complex because they're very good at problem solving. If you find yourself a very restless Gemini, give them something really complicated to do and they will do it. They are very detailed kind of people. For people that don't know that with Geminis, even though they can be disorganized, if you give them something complicated to do or something, and not just complicated, okay, it has to be creative and complex. Creative and complex. God, Joan, talk. They have to be doing something, otherwise their brain becomes very bored, and then that's when you're going to see the gossipy side of Gemini, right? You're going to see the part where they love to be in drama kind of Gemini. Like, you have to keep a Gemini busy or else their mind is just going to leave them. It's going to find something to do, and it might not always be a positive thing for them, okay? Because this sign is the third zodiac sign, right? You will find that they have this, they're not terrible twos anymore, so they're still learning how to communicate. Taurans we're very different. They're less talkative. They just more observant. So Taurans are more observant, Geminis are more talkative, and they're still learning to talk and to communicate and to develop their senses with everything. So that's why they love to experiment and they love to express themselves the way that they do. Expression will be very important to this zodiac sign, all right? Expression is very important for a Gemini. And when they feel like people are withholding that or trying to control that or try to silence them, that's when you're going to find that the bad twin will come up and try to protect them or defend them. So Geminis go from 0 to 100 really, really, really quickly, okay? And it's unpredictable too, because sometimes depending on their mood, they'll be real chill with you. Like, okay, maybe we could talk it out. And then other times they're like, well, there's no more talking. Like, and then they can have violent tendencies to them too. So you may want to watch out for that. But then also, that unpredictability is also a defense mechanism for them too. Sometimes they just like to do things that are super random or unexpected because they like the feedback, right? They like the the element of surprise and everything. It's just part of them. And you're also going to find a lot of Geminis who, even though they're very gifted in communication, they don't use it very well. Or they don't like to use it for good. Right? Sometimes they're just talking just to talk. And some people, they just don't appreciate that in Geminis. But I do. I love Geminis. Geminis are also very witty, and they're talkative too. You find a lot of Geminis that just love to talk about anything and everything. There's really no limits for this zodiac sign. You can really talk about anything you want to, and I just love their honesty with certain topics and how far they're willing to go and how, out of the box they're willing to think, right? Like, you can make up things with Geminis, and you can write a book with a Gemini if you really wanted to, and it'd be some weird Alice in Wonderland kind of freaking book, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be weird and crazy, and you're never really gonna be bored with a Gemini, not at all. You're going to find Geminis are either going to be really, really, really creative, and they're going to be really innovative with their ideas, or they're going to be really artistic with their ideas, right? Or you're going to find the twin that is very mischievous and they're very gossipy. or they're just downright mean to people, okay? It's like, or they're meshed together in one person, or sometimes just one appears, and it depends on their mood. See, that's how unpredictable this zodiac sign is. Again, these are very complex thinkers, complex feelers. They have very complex emotions. And if you're going to be with the Gemini, you're just going to have to understand that working with them, you will always have to communicate with them. If you're not communicating with them, then they're going to feel some type of way, like you guys are very distant. And to be with somebody forever, like this is why they have commitment issues, is that if they feel like you are not their twin, their better half, then they don't want to be with you. Again, as a dual sign, they want to feel connected with somebody as a twin almost, okay? So if you're not that to them, then they're just going to be like, I don't want forever with you. They may date somebody for a long time, but to actually walk down the aisle with somebody will be very difficult for them, because they're going to feel like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be controlled by somebody, or I'm going to give myself away. They want to feel like they're selves still. Does that make sense? Or they want to feel like they're an individual still, that they can control themselves or not be controlled. They don't even really control themselves. What am I saying? They don't want to be controlled at all. At all. They don't even like self-control. That's not a thing. They just want to feel free. They're the ultimate free spirit. They are the ultimate free spirit. So being with them, you will have to acknowledge that part of them and to encourage that, that good twin in them, so that they can sustain that balance of good and evil in themselves. When they're in private, or they're, they can't hold it together, they can be very fragile. And when they get fragile, it's because people are misunderstanding who they are as people. They're not understanding or letting them be who they need to be, right? They're not being supportive of their ideas, whether they're, crazy or not, to people. And I think that being boxed up or feeling suffocated is the reason why Geminis start to go through a downward spiral. And you'll find a lot of them going through a lot of battles with themselves, or mental battles with themselves, okay, where they just feel like, I'm not normal. Well, if you're that Gemini, I just want to tell you, you're good. You're good. I want to say that to each and every one of you, but I don't know your medical history, so we're not going to put it out there like that. But Geminis and their uniqueness, their weirdness, their them being eccentric is what makes Geminis so lovable, okay? And they're so open and honest, and they're so funny and humorous. It's multiple ways that they can communicate with people, and when they master that part of themselves, they will find that life is so much easier for them. Even though they love to communicate and they love to be social, or that they have to be social because they love to communicate, they tend to have a lot of problems with other people who just are not on the same wavelength as them, or just do not understand their style of communicating, okay? So they're not the most considerate when it comes to that either. Like, they just feel like they need to be themselves, and they do care what other people say or think about them. That's why they go through their downward spiral. But when they release that part of themselves, right, they start to embody and embrace who they're really meant to be. And that's when you can really appreciate a Gemini, because they are so artistic in their thinking, and they're so diverse and so cultured in their thinking. And if you allow a Gemini to just talk it out with you, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not saying that they're all like this, okay? That's the good twin. So let's go to the bad twin. When we talk about the bad twin, you will get the mischievous, the mischievous prankster, okay? You're gonna get the Gemini that they understand the power of communication. They understand the power of using their words and trying to trick people or manipulate people. And I'm not saying that you're all like this, okay? So you can be mad if you want to, but it's true. You find a lot of Geminis who either want to be the good twin, or they're going to be the bad twin. And when Geminis start to become manipulative, or they start to twist your words on you, or they start to, play with words so that they can confuse you, that's when they're just not they're in a dark phase right now. Just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. And you will find that too when you're arguing or you're debating with them and it starts to get emotional. They start to panic. They don't really like confrontation when it's an emotional or sensitive subject, okay? You're going to find that they get panicky when it gets to those kinds of things, right? So Geminis are not the most sensitive. They're more insensitive. Remember, they come after Taurus, the responsible ass Taurus. So they're not only, they're not only coming from this strict person, they don't want to be that strict person. Okay? They don't want to be controlling. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be responsible. It's not to say that they can't be responsible, but you will find a lot of Geminis get bored so quickly that it's hard for them to stick to a routine or something that lasts. Like they may be job hoppers for, especially when they're younger, until they find like a creative field that they want to be in. That's why you find a lot of Geminis who are actors or in the entertainment industry, because they have that flexibility in there, right? So remember that flexibility will be very important to this mutable air sign. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if I miss anything, then let me know. It's always so hard to try to get everything in one video. I am, again, writing my astrology book for all of you guys that don't know, so that's going to have way more detail in it. Next season, so the next one will be Cancer season after this one, and then I'll do a Cancer video. But if you guys have any requests, let me know. If you guys want to spread the love and share what you love about Geminis, or you want to share your birthday with me, then put that down in the comments too. Love you guys so much, and I appreciate all the support that you guys really give me. I feel very blessed. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.